Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A session with my husband, Jeff.
Hi.
And he's been in a few videos of mine, like doing my hair and my makeup. We did a few Q&A sessions before in the past, but today I asked everyone to leave some questions on my Instagram, and there was a lot of questions on my Instagram. The time before, I think there was probably like, I don't know, maybe 10. And this time I had like 90 comments. So I'm going to try to like narrow these down. A lot of them were a little bit repetitive. So I'm trying to answer questions that maybe weren't answered in the past, or the things that are probably like the most important or the most asked questions. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And the number one question, like the number one question that was on there, and I feel like the number one question that everybody wants to know is, where did we meet? And where did we meet, honey?
We met through Match.com.
Yes, we met on Match. There's so many questions about like the dating website itself, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of those. But first, I wanted to let you guys know that this video is actually sponsored by Match.com, and we are so excited to kind of work with Match on this, because it was always our dream to like be on a Match commercial. So this is probably as close as we're gonna get to a Match commercial, but I'm really excited to kind of be collaborating with them today. So not only is Match like #1 in first dates, but they're also #1 in second dates. And that's a really big deal, because a lot of times on dating sites, you're gonna go on one date, but it probably or maybe is not gonna be that great. And so the fact that they're #1 and going on second dates is a really big deal.
I think that has to do with when you get on a Match, you're putting a lot of personal information out there, so you get a good picture for who that person is. If you're going on a dating site that is just a visual picture with maybe 1 or 2 lines about the person, it's really a shallow representation of who they are, so it can just lead to, I think, a lot of bad scenarios and a lot of bad first dates.
You can just access all of this from your phone, and that's usually what I would do, because sometimes I was at work. Let's be honest. I mean, and you can't always like have access to your laptop. So it's your matches. If you have a match, it will be sent straight to your phone. If you have messages from somebody, like I would wait all day for him to send me a message, and so it would be notified like in my you can notify your phone or notify your account or whatever you want to do, but I was constantly checking my phone waiting for him to send me messages. This is our thank you to Match.com for our marriage and our family. I mean, this is how it all started, was using Match.com. Now, if you are interested in using Match.com, if you are single and looking to mingle, there will be a description, or not a description, there will be a link in the description box below, and you guys can try out Match.com free for 7 days using the link below. So go and try it out, and then if you like it, you can continue like a subscription. At this point, I mean, it's been a while since I've been on, but you can continue that like month to month or 3 months in advance, or however you want to do. We just want to encourage you guys that if you're thinking about starting Match, if you are on the fence about it, we highly recommend it. Obviously, we are happier than we've ever been, and it's really all thanks to Match. So don't forget to check out the link below, and now we're going to go ahead and answer some more questions from you guys. So the first question that I have, as far as where did we meet and Match, is what made you choose a dating site? And for me, I had Carter. I had a son. He was like not even a year old yet, and I wasn't about to go out and hit up the bars, or I really don't even know what else people do besides dating sites nowadays, like how you meet people. So it really wasn't a question for me. I was like, I'm gonna try this out. And at first I was kind of like embarrassed for using a dating site, but now it's so common, you don't realize how many people are on dating sites.
Kind of the same thing. I was, single dad at that point. So I was working probably 330 days of the year, and it was just really hard for me to get out and meet anyone. So I also thought it was important for me to kind of get my information out ahead of time. I wanted people to know that I had kids, so that if that wasn't for you, that's fine. Yeah. I just wanted people to know ahead of time before we started dating that was part of my life.
Most of the time I did my dating through my phone. I still got on my computer a lot, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you like what it looks like when you get on there. So it's gonna look like this, and then it gives you like this little bitty pop-up right here, and it says I'm a woman seeking a man, or whatever you are, and then between the ages. And it has like an age group. So I think like my age cutoff was like around his age. I want to say maybe like 35. So he was getting up there on my age cutoff. But I mean, honestly, the age is not an issue for us. And then the zip code right here, and it'll bring up singles like in your area. And then, you know, you can kind of set like how far out you want to go or whatnot.
I think actually it set my preference when I was looking for someone more older. I think I had actually done 27 years and older on my age group, so
he like snuck into my DMs.
No, so
How you found
you
me.
can still see other people's profile and other ages. Just when I was searching, I did not anticipate that I would meet somebody that was 23 that I would have a connection with, so it just wasn't something I was considering. I actually looked at her profile and moved forward, so I did not message her immediately, just because
I winked at him.
Right.
That's kind of how Match works. You send a little wink. I winked, and then he was like, oh, okay, she's interested, and then he messaged me, and you message back and forth for a while until you feel comfortable, like, hey, this is a person that I might, you know, want to talk to over the phone. So you give each other your phone numbers if that's what you want to do.
I think we spent about 2 days messaging.
Yeah, it wasn't very long, and then we got each other's phone number, and I don't remember how long it was before we actually went on a date, but I don't think it was too much longer after we did a lot of talking over the phone.
Yeah, I think it was early in the week, and by the end of the week we'd had a plan for getting together.
So how long were we together before we got married?
We met in March
Of 2013.
2013, and we got married in October of 2000.
15.
Yes. 2015.
So we were together for what, like a year and a half?
Year and a half when we got married.
Yeah.
We got engaged in July of the next year.
So we officially like dated a little over a year, March, April, May, June, July. So a year and like 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, from engagement to marriage, was not very long.
3 months, yeah.
We were ready to get married. So how do you deal with the age difference?
You know, I think it's a concern on my end. I just want to make sure that, you know, that I'm around, that, you know, I am concerned about, you know, our long term, I guess.
I mean, in my opinion, like, I couldn't have asked for anything better. I dated people that were my age, and I just felt like the maturity was not there. And so, in my opinion, I would tell every girl or woman to date up a little bit. I feel like the maturity level finally evens out once you have a few years between you. And, I mean, it definitely can work out if you know, some men are maturer than others, but I feel like the age difference is perfect for us because I was kind of like born mature, and the age difference is just...
And I was probably immature.
How do you maintain sane as a stay-at-home mom? Some days I'm not sane. Some days are more difficult than others. My husband lets me leave at night.
So usually I walk in the door and you know, we'll have dinner, usually hang with the kids for a little bit, and then a few minutes later I'll typically ask, like, do you need to get out of here?
It's true though, I don't think I would do as well as I do without being able to have that little bit of time where my husband lets me get out of the house, and it just feels good to just kind of like breathe a little bit. Usually I go to Target, I mean, but who doesn't want to just go to Target and roam the aisles without children hanging off of you, without kids screaming in your ears like you've been listening to all day. It's just nice to just have that time to yourself. And husbands, if you're watching, it might be something that you might incorporate into your life. It might make a happier wife for you.
I think that it's really easy to lose your sense of self when you become a parent, that your life is no longer yours. It's run around the schedule of your kids. So for me, it's really important that I'm enabling her to have time to herself, that she can, you know, disengage from being mom, to, you know, which will always be her, but disengage from being a mom and be Brittany again for a little bit.
He's just a good husband all around. How many more children do you want? Well, one or two.
At least one.
One
We've settled
for
on that
sure.
for sure.
It kind of depends on the gender of the next child. But we'll see. One or two. And then yes, then we're done. If you could describe your husband or wife in 3 words, what would they be? Well, I know that one for you I would say would be devoted. I always feel like I feel like the only one for him. I don't worry. There was a lot of worry in my past relationship. So to feel like somebody is completely devoted to you is like, I mean, what more could you ask for?
You know, my wife is, and I've told you this before, she's my answered prayer.
Don't cry. Don't cry. We cried in the last one.
But, you know, it's really true that, you know, I met my wife and wasn't in the best, the best time of my life. I wasn't, you know, it was a struggle at that point. And so, you know, meeting her has completely changed.
Yeah.
Meeting her has changed everything. Life has completely turned around. You know, I've grown, our family has grown. You know, we have, you know, Cooper together and, you know, Carter and Sydney and Chris, you know, with us. So it's, you know, we've grown our family, and
to me,
you know,
it just kind of feels like it was always supposed to be this way. You know, we have a lot of questions about blended families probably coming along this line of stuff, so we can answer that when it gets closer. We're done with the first page. Advice for blended families. See, I knew we had one on there. Don't be too hard on yourself. I'm still learning on how to take on the role as a step-parent. There's many days where I beat myself over the head because it's hard, or I'm not, I just feel like I'm not doing a good enough job, or I don't, you know.
You know, my wife is great, and Sydney, you know, Sydney loves her, and Chris loves her too. And so, you know, I think it was important for us to realize that when we got into marriage that we weren't just marrying each other, that we were marrying, you know, our kids as well. And so it's not always easy. You know, Carter has another dad, and I'm not replacing his dad. I'm trying to be another.
Right. And thankfully, this was another question, and I'll just integrate into this, but it was something about our exes, and thankfully we do have good relationships with the both of them, and so there's no, you know, occasionally there is, but most of the time there's no hard feelings or bickering between the two, and that makes it a lot easier for the child and for your family. But just the fact that your kids do have other parents makes it very difficult. Sometimes your kids don't understand what's going on, and it's difficult. I mean, I won't lie. So just give yourself grace. Like, allow yourself to not be perfect. You're not going to be perfect in this scenario. But, I mean, in the eyes of your child, I think you're probably doing a lot better than you think. Favorite quality of each other? I guess we kind of went through that, but...
My wife is very genuine. So, you know, what you see is what you get. She's a very genuine, caring person.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
I don't just have one favorite quality in me. I mean, I could just like throw them out there and they're all equally is my favorite, but he's very selfless. I mean, with everything, with his time, with his money, with his, just everything about him. He just gives and never really asks for anything. And
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I do want a PS4, but...
How do we stay in love?
You know, I mean, it sounds cliche, but a lot of the dirty work was done before we got married, that we really built a foundation of friendship, and it still is there today. You know, we were able to spend some time this weekend, and it wasn't glorious circumstances. You know, I was coaching, she was basically going along for the ride and taking Cooper with us, and spending a lot of time in the hotel, but it was just the car rides together and the conversations we had, and
just being together.
Share experiences
Just wanted
of
to be
life.
around him, you know? Like, I think you know you're in love when you just want to be around somebody just to be around them.
Yeah.
I support all of his dreams and his goals, and he supports mine.
I was encouraging her to get this YouTube channel going long before she ever did, because I thought she'd be great at it, and I just wanted to support her and, you know, her dreams. So
marriage tips.
um,
We said this before, and I'll say it again. Do not stop dating your spouse.
right. And it can be really difficult when you have kids.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
You
that
know?
it's easy. I mean, there's like like a week in advance. I'm like, how about we go on a date on this time, and we both have to set a time. You know, set aside some time from our schedules and find sitters for the kids and find a place to go. But we make it work. You have to continue to date, right?
Our romance led to kids, and then the kids slowly steal the
They
romance
suck it out.
from your life, right? So, you know, it's difficult with our type of a family arrangement, because we're both joint custody of our kids. We share custody with our exes, so, you know, it's working through where the kid's going to be at, and making sure that, you know, we're doing our job as a parent, and still making time for us as a couple.
It's a lot of work, but you have to keep dating. I mean, just that time spent alone, it recharges you. It allows you to just talk to each other about what went on your day, on your week, just without kids yelling at you and asking for this and that and screaming. And
you have to remind yourself and each other why you fell in love.
Right. What do we do for fun? Well, we go on dates for fun once a week.
We grab some margaritas for fun.
we have margaritas. You know, he's the baseball coach, so he's gone a lot on the weekends. He's got tournaments. So, I mean, honestly, going on the ride with him for me is fun, because as a stay-at-home mom, most of you understand, you spend a lot of time at home and juggling your priorities around nap time and eating, and, you know, you get out of the house once or twice. You know, but just being able to get out with him and kind of take a little road trip it's fun for me. I mean, it's probably not fun for him, but it is for me.
We go to dinner, right? I mean,
we take the kids
to
do things. I mean, you know, you got to be able to have fun with all of you together. So, but I mean, we don't take a lot of like extravagant trips yet.
Right. You know.
But our last extravagant trip was not very fun. I was pregnant on a cruise ship, and don't ever do that. If you're thinking about doing it, just don't. How do I manage to take time for myself with 3 kids? Well, like we were saying earlier, taking time for myself is being able to get out of the house in the evenings for a little bit. You know,
I force her sometimes, and I say, you know, like, I think you need a little me time.
that's probably when I start getting grouchy.
So, so I will, sometimes I'll either get her a massage, or I'll just tell her you need to go get your nails done, or something that I know relaxes her. Tell her that she can go shop, and I'll watch the kids.
And it does help. I mean, I come
for
back
a few hours.
Happier, right?
Yeah, and so I think as a husband, it's important for me to support that, because, you know, with working, you know, I do have time to get out of the house and get away from the kids a little bit. And I know it's work, but I do enjoy my job. So, you know, I need to give her that same opportunity as well.
How do you personally deal with the shared custody of your son and daughter?
I think you and your ex have good communication.
I just
you know, and they're both kind of willing, being accommodating to the other. If we both ask the other if they can, you know, watch one or both of the kids for a little bit of extra, we can usually work that out, and vice versa.
Yeah,
so.
if we've got like a special event going on where we want the kids to be there, if you need to change things around, they're always very willing. We're always willing to work around all of it together, and I think we do a really good job of kind of co-parenting. So the main thing is just to keep it about the child.
If your child's life is better having, you know, your ex involved in their life, then you should be supporting it.
Right. I don't find it too, at the beginning it was hard. When Carter was a baby, it was hard to do the shared custody thing. When you're just starting out, you know, you have to drop him off for the weekend, and that was really, really hard on me. But as time has gone on, Carter looks forward to going with his dad, when it used to be like a big, huge crying fit between the two of us, and now it's a lot easier. So if you're going through that at the beginning, I promise it does get a little bit easier. So, does being a stay-at-home mom with Jeff being a full-time working dad put a strain on your relationship?
I think it could easily put a strain on a relationship because you have to communicate really well in order to make it work. There's there can be a little jealousy on both sides of it. Sometimes I don't always want to be working 5 to 7 days a week for my job, and sometimes I just want to stay at home. And there's a lot of times when you're with the kids all day long and you wish that you could go somewhere that wasn't staying at home.
Right.
That we sometimes wish we could change places just for a day.
It does put a little bit of a strain on your relationship. I mean, I won't lie, it's difficult. I miss him when he's gone, and I think the following question of that was, does absence make the heart grow fonder? And the answer is probably no.
I think a little absence is good, but if I was constantly gone, and sometimes I'm coaching in baseball tournaments for 5 to 7 days, and those can be ridiculously difficult on her, just because we have several young children. When you have 3 under the age of 8, really it can be extremely stressful on her, and I feel guilty for leaving, so it can be a strain on both ends.
It can, but you just have to keep the line of communication open. It's not like he leaves those days and I don't ever talk to him. We talk all day long, and then when he gets home, we make sure to spend that time together. And I mean, in a way, it does make the heart grow fonder because I missed him so much and I want to spend that time with him. But even if he's not gone, I want to spend that time with him. So if and when you have a baby girl, what will you name her? I'm not telling.
We have discussed a name, and
we have a name, I believe, but I don't want to say anything until it's time. I just don't want to give it away. If I say the first letter, then people will start guessing. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut, and I'll let y'all know if and when the time gets there.
But yeah, first
Fingers
name,
crossed.
I think we're in agreement. Yeah.
Are you going back to work? Probably. Hopefully not.
I mean, I think this is, I consider this her job.
This is my work. I mean, I feel so blessed that thankfully, things are really, really picking up lately. And this is my job. I spend my evenings either editing or answering emails. There's a lot of emails to answer. And I feel like I am slowly climbing that successful ladder in this YouTube business. So I do consider this my job right now, and I hope that it steadily just increases and gets better from here, and that way I don't have to go back to work the other job. This is work for me, if that makes sense.
We always talk to, at this time in our lives, with me having several different jobs, she really has the opportunity to chase her passion, and I didn't always have that opportunity when I was younger. So I'm hoping that she makes the choice to go back to working if she wants to, but she can consider this to be her job and her career and make it a success because she has the opportunity to go for it. So,
how has YouTube helped your life, money, and self-confidence? Wow, I feel like it's helped a lot. I mean, I look forward to doing it. It's almost like a hobby for me. I get excited about it. I'm constantly thinking of ideas to do. Sometimes it is a little bit harder to get motivated just because I have kids, and being able to sit down, first of all, to get ready for the video, then to sit down and film it and without any distractions is very difficult. But I'm excited about doing it. I'm passionate about it. So I feel like it has helped my life in a way that hey, I found something that I really enjoy doing and it makes me happy. As far as money, I'm not rolling in the dough or anything, but I do make some money, and I actually make a lot more than I thought that I would. I kind of thought, I'm just going to be doing this for fun, and I think that's the way that you start a YouTube channel, is you start it knowing you're doing it for fun, not for money, because it takes a long time for that to kind of kick in. But I have been able to make a little bit of money and to kind of supplement our one income, and it's been a big help for our family together.
I think that she takes it serious as a job, but she enjoys it as a hobby and as a passion. She used to watch a lot of YouTubers, and that kind of inspired her, and I thought she would be really good at it. But she really does take it seriously, and she's dedicated, and I think that's what people miss about doing YouTube videos. They think it's just turning the camera on and talking, but there really is a lot of planning.
There's
and
a lot
of
that goes behind it.
yeah, a lot of behind the scenes work. So.
And then as far as self-confidence, I think the main thing is that people are going to be really, I don't want to say mean, but yeah, people are going to comment a lot on your videos, and they're going to say, you know, oh, you have one eye that's smaller than the other eye, or you talk too much, or I don't like the way that you talk, or they're just going to go on, and they're going to sit behind their keyboard and they're going to say whatever they want because they don't know you and you don't know them. But I think it's helped my self-confidence because I've kind of let that stuff just roll off my back. And I think before I used to really like absorb that kind of stuff and dwell on it. And now I just feel like, you know what? I know who I am, and I know I have one eye smaller or bigger than the other eye. But you know what? Well, I don't know. One of them is like, I think maybe this one is smaller. I don't know. Anyways, people are gonna just nitpick on you, and you have to be self-confident and know in yourself, like, hey, that's how God made me, and I'm super proud of all my flaws. And I mean, I just feel like I've definitely not let that kind of stuff affect me as much. Now, you've got to really build your outer shell if you're going to be on YouTube. People can be really mean.
Yeah, I think that when you put yourself out there, you just have to know that no matter what you do or what type of person you are, right? People are sometimes even looking for something they can find wrong in you, and it's to cover up things that are wrong inside themselves. So
yeah,
that's the way I think we look at it.
Then the last question, guys, this is going to be like an hour-long video. The last question is, what is our ideal future? Where do we picture ourselves in 10 to 20 years from now?
It's a really good question. I don't know that we've talked about that a whole lot. I think that we anticipate we'll be probably in the same house, same area.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we're both interested in doing very similar things. I think, you know, as from coaching when I first started, what I did has evolved and changed and grown so that I'm doing different things in the sport, in the profession that I've chosen, and anticipate that'll probably grow for you as well.
Yeah. I hope that my YouTube channel just continues to grow, and this is what I do full time. And you know, a lot of opportunities come with being able to do YouTube, so I'm excited for those doors to open. And I mean, one of those doors is that I'm working with Match on this video, and I mean, we
always talked about it. We actually joke because we used to see the Match.com commercials talking about how people met and got married.
Right.
And we said, man, that would be cool. We should send our story in to Match, and
yeah, and
here it is. So
here we are talking about Match, and I mean, it's completely genuine. But as far as the last question and where do I picture myself, I guess just my YouTube channel taking off, I hope, and you know, we'll continue to grow our family by that 1 or 2 children, and just hopefully we have successful careers and things that we enjoy doing. And we're very blessed that we each have careers that we enjoy doing, and we're not stuck in a 9-to-5 job that we hate. And I don't take that for granted at all. So that is it, guys. That was a lot of questions, and this is going to be a very long video, so I hope you all were able to stay till the end. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of your support on my channel and for all of your questions on Instagram. That was a lot of questions, and I was kind of surprised you guys had so many questions about kind of our relationship and all that. So once again, don't forget to check out the description box below for the link for your 7-day free trial with Match.com. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on my next video.
Thanks for having me.